Okay, so today we're going to find out how to test one of these starters and see if it's working or not when it's out of the car. So stick around, let's see how to do this. So step one, we already did it. We took it out of the truck. This is the C10 that we're working on. You can probably remember this engine bay. So here we have the starter itself. I took it out because whenever I would start it, it would just click, and I don't know, there's a bunch of bash marks right here. So let me show you how I test it. Is this the right way? Of course not. It's not the right way, but we're doing the right thing the wrong way. So with it out of the vehicle, we are going to hook the battery back up to it, to the post that it's supposed to be on. Now, for those of you guys that watch Vice Grip, you know what one of these things are. This is the Lone Wolf 6000. So we're going to use one of these to test the starter. So we'll connect one of these over here to the very loose terminal wires right here. And then we'll hook up this side to this post right here. On this one, it has like an S on it. So that's the one that I'm going to connect it to. This is also where the distributor was connected to. So this is where we're going to go. Okay. Now, make sure it's not touching the frame. So now what we're going to do is watch this very front of the starter. So as I click it, you'll see that it does nothing. Why does it do nothing? Let me check. Hold on. Okay, so why do I say this is the wrong way to do it? Is because one of the battery terminals is going to be right back here, and the other one somehow has to ground the rest of the case off to the rest of the frame. So how I have it is the back of it is touching the radiator core support. So now what we can do is look right here and see that it pushes out. Hey, there it goes. You see, it just pushes out and it doesn't really do anything. So that's what it's supposed to do. Well, not smoke and stuff like that, but it's supposed to push out and spin like that. What seems to be the problem is the Bendix on this thing is probably messed up. So I'm going to take this thing apart later on and make another part to this and figure out what the rest of is wrong with this thing. I have a few other starters around here, so I'm going to piece a good one together out of this bad one, because you can see why it's the wrong thing to do. Here, watch. It kind of works, but we don't need it to kind of work. We need it to like all the time work. So we'll get this thing fixed up and put back in the truck. Okay, so this is what we got here. This is the original starter right here. You can see that it is the not straight but staggered bolt pattern, whatever it is. It's this one. And this is the one that I bought off of Rock Auto that I didn't realize was the wrong one, as you can see from the front of this thing. So when I was looking at these, I noticed something, that this one is very similar to this one on everything except this piece right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbolt this top off of both of them and swap the tops. Never done this before, but let's see if this works. Okay, so we're going to start with the old one and work our way to the new one. So first, it looks like if I take these off, this comes off. So here we have a 3/8, and let's take these off and see what that does. Oh, damn it. Hold on. Okay, so 3/8 takes off this really long bolt that bolts this back piece to, it looks like, the front of the case. So let's do that with the other one. Hopefully this thing starts coming apart pretty soon. Doesn't look like it's all that complicated. Ooh, it's already loosening up. Okay. Don't get so excited yet, because there still might be some problems that we're going to come across. So let me unbolt this and I'll show you guys. Okay, so we got this other bolt out, and see, it's super long one the same, and you can already see that the case is splitting up here at the top. So let's take these off here. Of course it's not the same. Okay, hold on. Okay, so the bolts for back here were 3/8. The ones for up here are 5/16. So let's take these off. Come on. Dang it. Of course it wasn't just going to be so easy. Alright. There was one. Let's see this one. They're loose. And this thing came off. Alright. So let me loosen these up and I'll be right back. Okay. So I'm sure you're wondering, why don't you use any power tools? Don't you have power tools? I do, but I'm also really lazy. So I have them somewhere, and I'm just, it's too far to walk, you know? This seems, you know, more accessible. Like, something somebody else can do. Alright, let's see if it pulls apart. Ooh, it does. Okay. So here's this part, and there's like a little gear in here, or like a little lever. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if I was the only one to do that. I'm sure I wasn't, but you know, when you were a kid and you get a pen and you just start messing around with it and taking it apart. That's what this feels like. Just a really big pen. Hey, would you look at that? Okay, maybe we figured it out. If you can see down in here, this piece broke off. You see that piece right there? Looks like it's supposed to be connected right here in this little piece, and it's not. So maybe that's why it didn't rotate, because this looks like a bunch of magnets in here, and well, I mean, since I'm a huge nerd, when you put electricity through a bunch of magnets and there's a coil around it, it'll spin them, so that must be why we're not spinning. Alright, let's take the other one apart. I'm not going to show you guys that process. It's the same thing as what we're doing right now, so give me a sec. Alright, so now what we're left with is a pile of parts. We have the old case here with this broken chunk, I guess. So we have the base, the snout thing or whatever, the part that goes actually onto the block. It's right here. This is the one from the new one, which is the wrong one, and this is the new case. So we're going to reuse this, and I'm going to try to get as much out of this one as I can, like this. So we're going to still use this. We just don't need this. This is the wrong one. So this is going to go on this side, on the stuff we don't need. This one, I'm going to take this out of here too, because the gears were kind of messed up anyway. Might as well, since we have a newer one. Okay, so now we just Frankenstein this thing back together. So this little fork went on this little thing here that went up in there. It looks right. Okay. This part, gotta be careful with this one. This one goes in. Well, first we got this here. We got a spring on that side.
Okay, we'll lay this on the side to do this because you know, with car guys, none of us are going to ever ask for help. So I'm going to go in there and then we'll slide this spring in here. Okay, tip it upside down. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So as you see here, we just need to put these little electrode things on the outside. So make sure you do this carefully and pinch your hand a couple times.
Okay, looks like it's getting there.
I'm doing this as a real world situation, kind of like if you got stuck on the side of the road and all you had was some hand tools that you got for Christmas from Home Depot, because I know a lot of you guys did. I know I did. I even changed some brakes with those. They're pretty good. So let's say you got stuck on the side of the road, had nothing but those little hand tools. You'll be able to change, not only change a starter, but fix a broken starter. This one's pretty broken. Okay. Oh, this is a whole lot of thread. Okay, so there's that part. So now the next part, we need to make sure that we have this little red shingus on there. It looks like there's one on here, but this one had this one on there too. And now comes the harder part. I say it's the harder part because you gotta stab these bolts like all the way through it. So this outside one is the one where this little stem comes off. Put that one there. This one comes on this side. Find that little screw. There it is. Okay. Okay, so this one is tightened. And this one is tightened. So this one also had this little thing here. This is used for whenever you're attach the thing to the block. And it'll be good. But viola, there we go. We have the old one over here. We took the things from the new one that we didn't need, put them on this one, and now we have a starter that can go back in the truck. So let's test it first. Let's see if this thing works. Okay, so now we're back in the front of the truck. We use the same technique we used earlier. We got the battery. Fuck, that's a big ass shard of metal. Hold on. I guess you should probably wear gloves when you're doing this. Alright, so on this one we have one post that says S, one post that says R. So the S one is the simple and correct one to use, and the R is the really what are you doing, don't do that one. So we're gonna go this one. Okay, make sure that the case somehow touches the metal so it grounds itself out. We have the battery post connected back here and our Lone Wolf 6000. So let's see if we fixed something. Hey, look at that. And if you notice, let me angle you that way. If you notice, now it runs Look at that. So now we have a working starter. Hey, yeah. Awesome. Well, honestly, I didn't think this was gonna work. So let's get this thing in the truck, go over some other things, and see. Oh, we need to shim it. Okay. Well, for now, we're good. This thing, it works. So I'm gonna find the shims where they are, and next we're gonna shim a starter. All right. See you guys next time.
One starter installed later.